So I decided to try out the new Call of Duty WWII Beta, which is currently available to play during this weekend. I spent over 2 hours playing it, and I don't know how to feel about it. But let's start from the beginning. If you're new here and you haven't watched any of my previous videos, you probably don't know who I am. So, in short, I've been playing Battlefield series for 5 years now. I've played Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4, Hardline, and now I've been playing Battlefield 1 since it launched. So I think this is enough to call myself a veteran of the series. On the contrary though, I have never ever played any Call of Duty game. And playing beta of Call of Duty WWII today was my first time. That sounds weird. Anyway, I'm gonna present you my first impressions about the game and how it compares to my favorite franchise. Or most played franchise. I know it's really not the best idea to judge the game by the beta stage, but then again, beta testing in 2017 is more like, hey, try out this demo version of the game, we aren't even going to fix those issues or read your feedback. All the games that I've played in beta for the last 2 years were exactly the same as on the launch day. So how does Call of Duty located in the World War I era compare to Battlefield 1 located in the World War I era? If you compare the graphics of both games, well, Battlefield 1 is the clear winner. Like, there is no discussion here. Audio and visuals are far greater than what Call of Duty can offer. The immersion that Battlefield 1 gives to the player is something that makes you feel like you are on the actual war. Not that I was, so I can relate to it, but you get what I'm saying. You actually get the World War I vibe and you feel the environment, the sounds and everything surrounding you. On the contrary, Call of Duty feels like playing an ordinary game. There is nothing amazing about running through an open field, hearing shots, seeing explosions, and this stuff is something that I don't even notice on day-to-day basis while playing Battlefield because I'm already used to it. However, when I leave Battlefield and go play COD, I see that there's something missing here. And the same goes for movement. Battlefield series have one of the best movement animations in gaming history. And I'm sorry if you are a fan of Call of Duty, but your game can't offer that. The movement is unnatural and it doesn't feel right. At least when you play Call of Duty after playing Battlefield. Because if you never try Battlefield, you will never know what I'm talking about here. And it's not like those animations make Call of Duty unplayable. They don't. Those are completely fine, but those in Battlefield just feel better and give the better experience to the player. Talking about gun mechanics, or shooting mechanics, weapon mechanics, call it however you want, both of those games are totally different when it comes to that aspect. On one side, we've got Battlefield 1 with high time to kill, offering you good immersion and feeling from shooting. On the other side, we've got Call of Duty offering you low time to kill and feeling of using an airsoft gun. Although I have to admit that I like the fact that in the opposite to Battlefield 1, bullets actually fly straight in this game, instead of going to some random directions and hitting everything in front of you except for the enemy. And please, Battlefield 1 guys, don't write comments saying learn to control the recoil. I probably have higher accuracy on the automatic weapons than you guys have on the self-loading rifles. But in general, as I mentioned, I will not say that one game is better than the other in that section, because those are too different to even compare them. The thing I hate about Call of Duty, however, is the fact that the game doesn't have any learning curve. You just spawn in, you run towards the objective, you shoot enemies without any thinking, and that's pretty much it. The game doesn't really require that much thinking about better positioning, having better angles on the enemies, you just run in and shoot. And it's not like I'm claiming that Battlefield 1 requires skill, because it doesn't. I know that, but then again, in my not so humble opinion, it still requires more of that skill than the new Call of Duty. As I said at the beginning of this video guys, I have never played any of the previous Call of Duty titles, so I can't really compare them to what the new one can offer. But if those games were also that easy, they were just boring. Also, where's the team play and playing the objective in Call of Duty? Even if I'm playing Domination, which has objectives that you need to take, people still treat this like team deathmatch and they only go for the kills. They don't defend objectives, they don't attack objectives, they just pointlessly run around and want to get as many headshots as they possibly can. And where exactly is the common sense in that? I mean, you want to play team deathmatch, that's completely fine by me, but go to this game mode, not domination. And Call of Duty players are like, oh, domination. Well, that has to be another name for team deathmatch game mode, right? And the last thing that caught my attention was that the menu layout was terrible compared to what Battlefield 1 can offer. And I'm not saying that Battlefield 1's menu and layouts in game are perfect, they're not. And they definitely could be improved, but the things that Call of Duty can offer are nowhere near as good here. As the new player to the series, I felt a bit lost and I couldn't find everything that I needed to right away. It took me a while to figure everything out. While in BF1, I didn't have such problems. Everything was clear and obvious. And it's not because I've played previous Battlefield titles before, because those were very different from what Battlefield 1 has to offer when it comes to server browser and matchmaking. Customizing your soldier, choosing weapons, it all is somehow easier in BF1. I don't know why. Generally I know that it looks like I'm favorizing Battlefield 1 in this video. I'm really not. Those are just the things that I'm noticing right away after loading into Call of Duty. This video is not the proper review or comparison of those games, because I would need full version of Call of Duty to actually do that. This is just how I feel about those two games. I'm not saying Call of Duty is a bad game, but it feels like it's 10 steps behind Battlefield when it comes to the game design, immersion of it, and other stuff that makes players want to play the game. Naturally, there will be players who will be attracted to those mechanics of Call of Duty, because, as I mentioned throughout the video, they're not making the game unplayable, they're just making game worse than Battlefield. Some of the gamers simply want to join the game, run around, shoot enemies, get some quick action, and in that, Call of Duty is just perfect. You don't need to learn a lot, you don't need to come up with some advanced tactics, you can just join, shoot, and chill out. Yesterday I made a video titled "Will Call of Duty World War II affect Battlefield 1's player base negatively?" and now I feel stupid, because there is no way that people will actually switch from Battlefield to Call of Duty. I mean, they might try doing this, but after they will notice all those differences, they will not want to go there. Like, I'm not saying this game is bad, but it just feels a lot worse than Battlefield. When it comes to the level of perfection in game design, in general, I'm not talking about Battlefield 1's netcode issues, balance issues and other stuff, but in general, Battlefield 3, which was released in 2011 and was the first Battlefield game I have ever played, was in a better state than the new Call of Duty. I don't know what causes it, I don't know how to describe it precisely, but it's just this initial feeling that you get after playing couple of the first rounds that makes you want to stay there and play longer. For now, I can honestly say that DICE can go with making Battlefield 2 in the World War II era, or next Battlefield title, the one that's supposed to be in 2018, not necessarily Battlefield 2, because we've already had a game with this title, but they can release that World War II game without any problems, because Call of Duty doesn't offer that World War II immersion in any way. Anyway guys, that would be it for my first impressions about Call of Duty, and I honestly don't know if I will even buy the game and record some more videos about it, because it doesn't feel good to me. I'm not a fan of Battlefield 1, but I still prefer this game 10,000 times more than the recent Call of Duty release. Let me know guys how you feel about the new Call of Duty. Have you played it? Are you going to? Or maybe you already pre-ordered it? Let me know down in the comments. If you want to get more updates from me, make sure to follow my Twitter account, which is linked in the description, and as always guys, if you enjoyed, remember to leave a like, subscribe, and I see you on the battlefield. Well, that sounds weird in a Call of Duty video,